This is a continuation of a video I posted earlier called He Died and Remembered Everything. As you might remember, part 1 of this story described an anonymous man who wrecked his car and died in a field outside of Toledo, Ohio. He remembered in detail his experience with God, which he describes as an inconceivably bright and pure light. He also describes heaven, which he later discovered was contained inside an enormous black cube. Here we pick up the story just after he's left the black cube and he's plummeting through space on his return journey to his life on Earth. In his own words, "I was falling at a very fast pace, and then I start seeing stars go by. And I see these other non-human beings, these orbs, going off in different directions in front of me. I was just looking forward, you know what I mean? I'm just looking at the orbs, and I'm not paying attention really. But when I started seeing Mars, and Venus, and that sort of stuff, it caught my attention. And so I'm coming back, and then I'm seeing a little bitty tiny blue marble, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then I'm about to hit the atmosphere, and then, bam, I stopped." Now I'm going to tell you about the Demiurge. I couldn't tell you about the Demiurge before without talking about the light first. So I don't want you to mistake these two different personalities. And so back to the story. I've stopped. I'm above the earth. And I'm like right in front of this Norman Rockwell kind of looking guy. He's big, long flowing white hair, big white beard. He had burning red eyes and a brassy face, a brass-coloured face. But he's translucent, kind of like the gold up in the cube heaven, or whatever you want to call that place. And he's severe. This guy's not somebody that you want to mess with. I mean, he's just full of, serious intent. I mean, very, very serious guy. And he's got all these star maps, and he's showing them to me. And I'm absorbing it. And he's trying to explain it to me. He's trying to explain everything to me. And I'm having to make some agreements to go into a body, and he's showing me why. This star's aligned with this, and this galaxy, and this planet, and this, and that, and he's indicating all of this on his star maps, or whatever. I understood everything he was telling me at the time, but it's like it was blanked from it's like it was taken from me. As he was explaining all of this, he opened up some new books for me, and he showed me how we interact with one another, and one way was through waves. We're in these waves, and the waves go across the whole earth, and they're like imagine an ocean and waves. And these waves go across the entire earth, an earth made of light and darkness. And he showed me how he was like a filter for the earth, a filter which caused the waves. In other words, he caused the waves by filtering light and causing darkness on the earth. Imagine putting a veil around the earth and somehow pulling and pushing the veil, affecting the light and the darkness on the earth. The light pulls up and the darkness pulls down, and so the whole earth was like a big round ball of light and dark waves caused by the Demiurge. And according to him, the whole earth was in perfect balance. He was trying to explain to me how he was superior to the light, because he had this thing perfectly balanced, and everybody lined up for miles and miles to come here, because they wanted to experience what he has created here. And what he has here is this perfect balance of 2/3 light and 1/3 darkness. It's like a counterbalance, like the yin and yang thing, but it's more light than it is dark, and it's not always exactly in balance. what he was describing is that he needed me to do some things to keep the balance of light up, because if there aren't people doing light things, then the balance gets too wonky and the world gets too dark. And if it gets too dark, then it's like game over. Everybody goes home. It's done. People call him the devil, but how can a guy be the devil if he wants good things to happen, you know? He wants light things to happen. He wants love and kindness and joy in the world. But maybe he is evil in that he is selfish and wants to keep his system going. It's just because he wants to prove that he's better than, the light, God. Like he's saying, look, I got all these people that come down here, trillions of souls and spirits, they all come down here. They line up just to get here. And he creates tension. He creates tension between me and you, between me and the Catholics, me and the Baptists, me and the Muslims, me and the communists. He creates the tension to create the waves. You know what I mean? And that's what he showed me. And he showed me that it's his game, and that if I want to participate, I've got to agree to do what he says. He was trying to show me how his game was better than the light's game. I got to see the whole game played out, from start to end. I saw the earth from the very beginning go through many phases and then go completely dark. But at the very end, it becomes completely brilliant light. But yeah, during the darkness, it's going to be bad. I saw almost total darkness, and then I saw the light completely covering the earth. The light finally goes through unshielded by the Demiurge, and he just completely gives up. He says, I lose, game over, you win. He quits because he can no longer maintain the 1/3 darkness and 2/3 light balance, causing most of the light to be extinguished on Earth. The number of souls choosing to reincarnate here dramatically drops during the darkness, but a remnant of light souls remain, and in the end, light returns to Earth unfiltered, creating a type of heaven on Earth. This is after the Demiurge lifts his veil.